Alright, Merciless Vaughn back with another Bleach Bracelets video, and this one is going to be a versus video. This time we're going to have the 1000 Year Blood War 2022 versus the 2024 version of Ichigo, just to see which one is the better unit. And so yeah, we're going to go ahead and get started. Hopefully you guys enjoy. If you do, please leave a like. If you're new to the channel or you have been here for a while, please consider subscribing and help me get to 250 subscribers. I am making my way there. And with all that said, let's just go ahead and get started. Alright, so first things first, we're going to go ahead and start off with the older version of the Ichigo. This is the Ichigo that did come out in 2022. As you can see, mine is 5 out of 5, but he is not max transcendent because I have yet to reroll that 3-star SP in the last slot. And I did do multiple showcases of this character in his own video and other versus videos that I have done, but he is a Heart Soul Reaper with the Ranker and no affiliation killer. Soul Trader strong attack recharge time minus 14%. Melee unit with no status elements on his abilities. He is one of the few new characters that introduced a new mechanic in the game. Increased damage to enemies not affected by an element 100%. Also hit enemies and pierce iron skin. So yeah, when this unit first came out, he was a pretty interesting unit with no status elements, but yeah, he did have this 100% increased damage to enemies that are not affected by status elements, which was pretty good, and in my opinion is still a decent skill as of right now. Yeah, this is a unit that will be very usable for a long time. As you can see here, he does have Marauder, Sprinter +2, Frenzy +2, Havoc 20%, and the Share Complete status immunity as well. His Devastation is also at 60%. He reads all affiliation dodges, long stride, and he recovers stamina for your party. So yeah, this is the first 1000 Year Blood War Ichigo version from the anime, and now we have the newer version, the 2024 version. And as you can see here, I did do a showcase on this character. Be sure to check that out if you want to know more about this character, strong attacks in detail and other things. He is a Heart Soul Reaper unit with the Soul Reaper and Stern Ritter killer. Right now mine is 4 out of 5, and this one does come with 2 Soul Trade strong attack recharge 12% and strong attack damage plus 20%. He has weakening and lacerate on all of his abilities. He has a melee unit. He has Sprinter +2 and long stride as well. He also has poise for his innate skills. And his most notable skills are going to be the complete status immunity, Havoc 20%, Frenzy +2, Bombardment +1. Damage to his status elements 40% for weakened, 60% for lacerated. He also has Marauder, hit enemies, and the status element spiritual pressure boost. And he does have the increased status element chance, but this is only against his killers, which is Soul Reapers and Quincy's / Stern Ritters. And so yeah, that's it for the character's skills. Let's just go ahead and take a look at the accessories that I'm going to use. Now, since both of these units are Heart Soul Reaper affiliation units, the accessories and links will be the same. So with the accessories, we're going to have the T-set, Fortification Pill, and the Lieutenant's Badge. As for the links, as for the bonus abilities, I have full stamina damage boost and weakened defense. Now you can change this weakened defense out for the +100, for the +200 SP that you can get from the bonus abilities. That will probably be better to have that on this character since he really doesn't have bombardment. The other Ichigo does have bombardment, so it will make more sense to have weakened defense on there. But you know, you can always just swap that out for the +200 SP if you want to. But just because I don't feel like using the resources to change them, I will keep the bonus abilities the same. And so yeah, that's it for the character skills, accessories, and links, bonus abilities. Let's go ahead and jump into some content to see what they can do. Alright, so here we are in a single player inheritance trial. It is hollow enemies in the current IT. This unit and the other Ichigo will not have killer because this Ichigo has the Ranker and no affiliation killer. The 2024 version of Ichigo has the Soul Reaper and Stern Ritter killer. And so yeah, if you really want to see what these characters can do, take them into a co-op IT. The characters in co-op IT are a lot more tankier and you know, they just are. They have a lot more health. Characters that release nowadays, they're just way too OP for single player IT. But as you can see, this Ichigo is still a great unit, even though he is over a year old. I'll roll that 3-star SP in the last slot so I can do a 5 out of 5 max percentage showcase for him. We took some damage there, but that's okay. We can recover stamina when we move in between stages. And see, we are now back at full stam. Oh yes, this Ichigo does have the complete shared status immunity, so if we swap to another character, this character, as well as the other one, is immune to the status element that is on the ground. Which is a really great skill for, you know, just running IT. And here's his soul bomb. Alright, so here we are back in the IT again. This time well, I forgot to mention it, but in the last run I did have the swimsuit, Rangeku, and the Christmas Ninny here just to give me extra pots because I need all the extra pots I can get. They weren't helping my damage in any way, shape, or form, but I did change the Christmas Ninny out for the Safui Kaname because that Kaname increases heart attribute characters' movement speed by 30% and increases strong attack damage by 20%. So now my strong attacks are doing 20% more damage. And yeah, a year-old unit, he's still really good. The increased damage to status element enemies is going to be a skill that's going to have a, you know, great longevity. Though if you are using characters with that skill in IT, your damage can be somewhat inconsistent because, you know, most of the units that you will be playing with will have status elements. And so those enemies affected by those status elements, you won't get that 100% increased damage. Alright, so now we have the 2024 version of Ichigo, and I did switch that Kaname out back for the Christmas Ninny because I want to do the increased strong attack damage and increased movement speed buffs for the last run for his parts. And as you can see, this Ichigo is still very good. We do have the increased status element. He is immune to all status elements, but he doesn't have the shared one. So as you can see here, he is immune to the status elements. If we switch to a unit, that icon that shows you that they are immune does not pop up. The swimsuit Rangeku does have the recover stamina in between stages. This Ichigo doesn't, so that's how we were able to get our full stam back. And another difference is between this Ichigo and the other Ichigo is that Pierce Iron Skin skill. The Ichigo was able just to remove the enemy's Iron Skin even with his Nat String. This unit really can't do that. So you can get some use out of the 2022 Ichigo Nat String just to remove that Iron Skin if your strong attacks are on cooldown. But you know, it will just be best to use your strong attacks. And here's his soul bomb. Alright, so here we are with the last run for this video. My strong attacks are going to be doing 20% more damage, and I am going to be moving 30% faster now that the Safui Kaname is here. And also another thing about this Ichigo is the increased status element chance against Soul Reaper and Quincy enemies is not taking effect here because these enemies are not Soul Reapers or Quincy's. So that skill is just completely useless as of right now in the current IT. even without that skill, he is still inflicting status ailments, and so he is getting the status ailment spiritual pressure boost. He just wouldn't be activating it as frequently as he would be if he were going against units that he has killer against. But overall, yeah, both units are just really great in my opinion. Okay, so that was a brief showcase of the 2022 and 2024 versions of the 1000-Year Blood War Ichigo side by side. And as for the better unit, I mean, it's really up to you. The 2022 version of Ichigo, I'd say, is a more team-orientated unit because he helps the team recover 20% stamina. He has the share complete status immunity, which is just great for people in your party that aren't immune to the status elements that are on the ground. And not to mention that he does have the increased damage to enemies not affected by an element 100%, which is a skill that's going to have, you know, great longevity for units. As for with the 2024 version of Ichigo, he's just a unit that's going to deal tons and tons of damage with his 2 soul traits. And you know, he also does have 2 status elements, weaken and lacerate, and he does have the damage to weakened and lacerated enemies, 40% for weakened, 60% to the lacerated enemies. He also does have the status element spiritual pressure boost, which is great. Going to increase his damage even more. He only has the complete status immunity, not the shared one, so yeah, only he will be immune to the status elements. And not to mention that this skill right here, the increased status elements against Soul Reapers and Quincy's, will only work against Soul Reapers and Quincy's. So this skill, if you're not going up against any of those affiliated units, then this skill is just pretty much useless. You'll still be able to proc the status element spiritual pressure boost, just not as often as you would be if you're not going up against Soul Reaper or Quincy affiliated units. So yeah, this Ichigo is pretty much more selfish unit. The 2022 version of Ichigo is more team orientated. And yeah, that's basically it. So that's going to be it for this one. Hopefully you enjoyed the video, and thank you for watching. And as usual, until next time.